Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Gin with Spearing. Get innovating now with Routeco. Today's topic is introducing an exciting new supply partner called CoreTigo. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Gabby Danieli. Gabby, please tell us about your role within CoreTigo and a bit about the organisation.
Hi, Darren. It's a pleasure being here. My name is Gabby Danieli, and I'm the Chief Strategy and Marketing Officer at CoreTigo. I've been with the company for about 4 years now. And CoreTigo is actually focused on industrial wireless automation. Our objective at CoreTigo is to enable machines and production lines to actually do more by breaking the limits that we have today on connectivity between machines and within and throughout production lines. Our team actually has an interesting blend of both wireless experts, deep tech wireless experts, and industrial experts.
So one of the key things that you were saying there was about wireless technology and wireless IO link, and that's a really important thing. We sell a lot of IO link products, but again, the wireless side of it is relatively new for a lot of UK customers. So can you tell us a bit more about the benefits of IO link, the wireless version?
IO-Link Wireless was first and foremost designed specifically for factory automation, and it's not just for wireless monitoring. This is a protocol that's intended for both wireless control and monitoring. It's actually a part of the IO-Link, very well-known IO-Link protocol. What IO-Link Wireless does, it actually ensures ultra-high reliability, pretty much cable-grade reliability. This actually means that it's 1 million times more, literally 1 million times more reliable than conventional wireless solutions. So IO-Link Wireless offers a very low latency of 5 milliseconds. In addition, it's actually deterministic, and it also ensures scalability. This is not just one-to-one or 1 to 4 or 5 devices. You can actually support hundreds of wireless sensors and wireless devices on a single machine area or in a single work cell. And again, a device can be both a sensor and an actuator. Okay, this is not just for monitoring. It coexists with other wireless networks. Utilizes a variety of mechanisms, whether it's blacklisting, very special modulations that enable it to be much more immune and resilient to noises, and also frequency hopping and adaptive frequency hopping mechanisms. All this make it very unique and basically uncomparable with other wireless technologies, which were not really designed for factory automation.
You find a lot of IT solutions coming into that factory floor and they just don't have that rugged durability or potentially to withstand 24 hours, 365 manufacturing. With manufacturing customers requiring additional factory floor flexibility, I think that's one of the key benefits. And can you give us some examples of where customers have come to you and they wanted to move machines or wanted more flexibility, and how CoreTigo have offered a solution to match that?
If we take the packaging industry, whether it's pharmaceuticals or food and beverage or just overall CPG, what we're seeing is the need to have much more adaptive machines, meaning how can I support a large variance of products and product packages without needing to have multiple machines? And when we're adding the wireless communication for actuators on smart conveying systems, for example, transport track systems, you can actually create a machine that's completely adaptive and controlled by the PLC rather than manual changeovers, rather than having 4 or 5 different machines supporting different product types. Okay, so that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is that by having the ability to control wirelessly, whether it's a gripper or a pump or a valve, now you're actually eliminating, in many cases, the need for external equipment. For example, in many pick-and-place applications, you have the external robotic arms or the external Delta robots that are doing the pick-and-place action. If we're able now to do all these while in motion on the movers, on the conveying systems, now we're actually eliminating those external equipment or external robotics that are required, and again, enabling much more flexibility on the move rather than doing things from the outside.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I think the whole flexibility of manufacturing is something we've seen over the last couple of years with the COVID pandemic as well. And it's really accelerated, especially end user manufacturing customers wanting additional flexibility. And that leads nicely onto another area is where we have customers with older machines and older technology. And Gabby, those customers want to upgrade those machines and look at getting more data and more information out of those. So again, how can CoreTigo assist with trying to help those customers with older plant and older machines and trying to get data potentially out of those machines?
What IO-Link Wireless actually provides, because as we mentioned, it can do things in motion, it can do things in low latency. It actually enables you to get that complete visibility, both on moving components and on fixed components, okay? These can be at places that are hard to reach, or it can be on rotary tables or on carousels, or in some cases, you just want to eliminate the distance where you're pulling cable from the network cabinet to the machine. So in this sense, IO-Link Wireless enables first and foremost eliminating those cables. So on the fixed asset, eliminating the cables that you need to pull from the machine to the network cabinet. Imagine a discrete manufacturing plant where you have 100, 200, 300 CNC machines laid out in the plant, and you want to add an airflow sensor for each one to monitor the airflow for air leakages and optimizing the machine or such. You would need to actually pull cable from each machine, from that sensor to the cabinet, to a master, and then to the PLC. With a wireless solution, you can actually eliminate those cables, which makes it much easier on the deployment itself, and then the total cost of ownership. In addition, due to the fact that this is completely compatible with IO-Link, with the IO-Link standard, it actually enables to have a seamless plug-and-play integration to smart sensors, such as IO-Link sensors. We're seeing the trend of adding smart sensors today rather than the old analog sensors or such. And here, with IO-Link Wireless, a completely plug-and-play experience. This also enables you to have any future add-ons much easier. So if today you're adding a vibration sensor, tomorrow you're adding another sensor. And in addition, even after you've retrofitted the machine and then you want to relocate the machine, it's much easier to relocate it once you're not constrained or tethered to cables leading to cabinets or other distant areas that are not on the machine per se.
I think, Gabby, when you were talking there, it also got me thinking about adding sensors that could look at flow, pressure, temperature. They all also link back into another really hot topic, which is energy consumption as well, and waste. So again, I think it's a really good use of this technology going forward. How can CoreTigo aid customers when looking to address the importance of upskilling people and the skills gap within engineering?
Right. So the skills gap comes in many areas. So on one hand, there is the skills gap itself, but on the other hand, even if you have the skilled engineer, there's not a lot of them. Okay. So on one hand, when we're creating an adaptive machine, we're putting in the factory less machines because that single machine replaces 6 machines, which would need 6 operators. So that on one hand, even if we have a skilled operator, we need less skilled operators. On the other hand, we're also creating a situation where we have less manual operations. So when we're creating a flexible machine where we're automating the changeovers, we're actually enabling the PLC or the operator to do all of these things automatically over the air without needing to stop the machine and then replacing all the parts or the cradles that are holding the different products once you want to do a product changeover or you want to do some tooling changeover. So we're creating a situation where we have less manual operations. In addition, because we're collecting now the data basically from anywhere in the plant, even from the moving components, we're opening it up to much more predictive maintenance. And predictive maintenance actually enables the timely maintenance and the replacing or fixing before you get that unplanned downtime, okay? Because today we're basically relying on the engineers or on the operators to basically look at the machine and understand what's happening. By having this data, we can actually be much more prescriptive and prescribe what you need to do on the machine. And in addition, it's the deployment process itself. So it's not just the day-to-day operation of the machine, but also the deployment itself is made much more simple due to some of the things that we mentioned. You don't need to pull cables between the machines and the PLCs, and also the seamless experience of basically integrating to off-the-shelf sensors and devices.
There's a phrase that I use, which is about using technology, especially within a busy, noisy factory, for using the technology to be people's eyes and ears. So again, it's using the technology. So rather than having a production line fail, which is very expensive, using the technology to give you those predictive details and information that you can make judgment calls about doing the maintenance when it best suits your business, rather than having to do it because something has broken or failed and you've got to do it to get back up and running again. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. And again, okay, just really want to talk about a bit more about the sustainability going forward. So can you talk about, how CoreTigo is helping benefit customers through the reduction and sustainability side?
Yeah, sure. So, when we're looking at sustainability today, at least for our solutions and where we can touch on, we're seeing it in several areas. One is energy conservation. The other one is the reduced footprint of the machines, because reduced footprint, of course, is less energy that's consumed by the machines and less factory space that's needed, which means, of course, less carbon emission overall, and predictive maintenance, because that enables the machines to operate much more optimally, which means that you get less waste on unnecessary operations of the machine. Now, let's talk about energy conservation. So if we touched on airflow monitoring, and that's a great example. So it is actually assumed that up to about 30% on average, 25 to 30% of the energy that's consumed in a factory is actually consumed for compressed air. And actually, benchmarks are that approximately 30% of that is wasted due to leakages and non-optimized machine operations. And the majority of machines today actually do not have the airflow monitoring solutions on them. And when you're actually able to now, in a very simple manner, connect a smart sensor wirelessly to a machine or to hundreds of machines in a factory, you're able now to easily start monitoring the airflow. The other piece is reduced footprint. And again, we talked about how do we create that paradigm shift by creating the adaptive machine rather than adding more machines whenever I need to have product variants, okay? And by having that adaptive machine, we're reducing the footprint. And again, touching on that point with the external equipment. Less robotic arms, less robots or Delta robots that are needed to be deployed externally on the machine. Also, eventually, reduce that footprint of the machine and reduce the amount of mechanical components that are needed to operate, again, with compressed air and with electricity.
Gabby, thanks very much, okay, for your time today. I think it's a great piece of insight and, again, an exciting addition to the Routeco suppliers that we're able to provide UK customers. So again, if you'd like to know more about the technology, please discuss with your local Routeco account manager. Please like and subscribe to our channel and look out for another Gym Whispering video coming very soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much.